You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report Scoreboard Show, podcast number 260.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news. Your daily audio sports section every single weekday, released between 1 and 2 p.m.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we thank you for spending part of your day with us. Today is May 9th, 2025. It's a Friday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School, producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we'll hear from Tyrese Halliburton as the Pacers prepare to host the Cavs in Game 3. Plus, we have all the NBA and NHL playoff results from Thursday. IU and Purdue looking for Big Ten softball tournament wins. And Anderson baseball tries to advance in the Heartland Conference. Plus, the best news and notes section in all of Central Indiana sports podcasting. And, of course, lots and lots of high school sports results and highlights. But first, this is the part of the podcast where I ask you to please go to YouTube, search Central Indiana Sports Report, and subscribe so you don't miss a single segment. Also, we released our Pacers report with Mike Rich and guest John Robertson and Mike Hutzel on Friday morning. Go find that one. And Eli Edwards and I broke down the Colts' home and away opponents and our expected results ahead of next week's NFL schedule release. That's podcast number 259.2. Plus, Friday is track and field conference championship night. We'll have results from all over Central Indiana, including the CIC, sometime this weekend. Your Indiana Pacers look to go up 3-0 Friday night when their series with the Cavaliers moves to the Fieldhouse in beautiful downtown Indianapolis. All of the injured Cavaliers who missed Tuesday's games, All-Stars Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, and six-man DeAndre Hunter, all participated in practice Thursday and are expected to play in Game 3. Tuesday's Pacers hero Tyrese Halliburton said the Pacers aren't comfortable with the 2-0 lead.
To go there and win two is a really big deal, especially, just because of who they are, what their home court looks like, what playoffs look like. To go take two at home, on their home floor is a big deal, but still think we just got to approach it the right way, man. You want to take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of us, but at the same time, you understand that, they're going to play desperate. They're going to play to win. And honestly, we should be desperate too. We should be just as desperate to protect home court and take care of home court the right way. Because, mathematically, if we take care of home court, we win the series. So, it's really important for us to just approach it the right way. I felt like Game 2, we were a little loose to start the game. And we got to nip that in the bud, be ready to go Game 3.
In the only NBA playoff game Thursday night, the Timberwolves blasted the Curryless Warriors 117-93 to even that series at 1 game apiece. Julius Randle led Minnesota with 24 points and 11 rebounds, and Anthony Edwards, who left in the first quarter with an injury but returned, he contributed 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals to the win. In the loss, Draymond Green was assessed his 5th technical foul of the playoffs. 2 more, and he'll be suspended for a game, like he was 9 years ago when it cost the Warriors a championship when he missed Game 6 of the finals against the Cavs for the same reason. After the Pacers game Friday, the Nuggets and Thunder will break their 1-1 series tie at Game 3 in Oklahoma City. Denver came back to win Game 1, and the Thunder won Game 2 by 43 points in Oklahoma City. That game is set for 10 p.m. Like the Pacers, it is on ESPN. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the reigning Western Conference champion Oilers took both games in Vegas, including Thursday's 5-4 overtime win. Game 3 is in Edmonton Saturday night with the Oilers up 2-0. Eastern Conference top seed Washington held off Carolina to win Game 2 of their Eastern Conference semi to even up their series at 1 game apiece. Tom Wilson, my favorite player of all time, had a goal and an assist in the win. Game 3 is Saturday in Raleigh. The Maple Leafs and the Stars look to take commanding leads in their conference semifinals on Friday. The Leafs are up 2-0, but the defending world champion Panthers now have home ice. Leafs Panthers starts at 7 from Miami. Stars Jets begins at 9:30 in Winnipeg, with the Stars winning Game 1 Wednesday. Both games are on TNT and the Max app. Qualifying for the Soncio Grand Prix at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is Friday at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1 and kicks off a busy May in Indianapolis. The 85-lap race is scheduled for 4:30 on Saturday. Alex Palou is the two-time reigning IndyCar champion and the current point leader by a large margin. Palou beat Christian Lundgaard by 16 seconds to win the last race in Alabama and beat Christian Lundgaard by 16 seconds to win the Grand Prix in Indianapolis last year. Palou of Ganassi Racing and Lundgaard, a Dane with McLaren Racing, are currently 1-2 in the 2025 standings. Kyle Kirkwood is third, Pato O'Ward fourth, and Scott McLaughlin is Penske's top driver in fifth. In Major League Baseball, we look at the National League Central, where the Cincinnati Reds fell to fourth place after Thursday's 5-4 11-inning loss to the Braves, who took 3 out of 4 in the series. Rhys Hines homered in the ninth to put the Reds up 4-2, but the Braves scored twice in the ninth against Reds closer Graham Ashcraft, then won it in the 11th on a pinch hit RBI single by Drake Baldwin. The Reds head to Houston for 3 this weekend, starting at 8:10 Friday. First place Cubs are in New York to face the NL leading Mets. The Cardinals, who are 3 games back of the Cubs, go to Washington to face the Nationals. And the defending division champion Brewers, who are also 3 games back of the Cubs, are in Tampa for 3. We move to a few news and notes. Muncie Central has hired a new head coach, kinda. Jeff Holloway, a 1994 grad, has been named the Bearcats head coach for the second time. He was also the head coach at Central from 2014 to 17 before going to Avon, where he led the Orioles to a sectional championship in 2019. Holloway will also serve as the Muncie Central athletic director. Pendleton Heights junior lineman Luke Graham tweeted Thursday that he received his first scholarship offer to continue his football career from St. Francis in Fort Wayne. The Cougars have been busy. They also offered New Pal junior Garrett Rains. Rains' teammate Mason Oglesby, an elite tight end and pass rusher, tweeted that he's been offered a scholarship by Barry Odom and the Purdue Boilermakers. He adds the Purdue offer to ones from IU, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Kent State, Miami of Ohio, and pretty much everybody else. Zach Browning of IU Sports Media and the Hoosier on 3 reports that IU is the early frontrunner to land Lawrence North standout Monsoon Sales, the number 1 ranked wide receiver in the class of 2027. According to Alex Bozich of Inside the Hall, IU's men's basketball has made an offer to one of the nation's top recruits in 2026 in 7-footer Ethan Taylor from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Taylor's ranked 49th in his 2026 class and has also been offered by Purdue, Missouri, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Purdue basketball is the betting favorite to win the 2026 national championship at better than 10-1 odds on FanDuel. I believe it's the first time ever Purdue has been the betting favorite to win a national championship. The Boilermakers have everybody returning, including Big Ten Player of the Year Braden Smith, All-American Trey Kaufman-Renn, and they've added a couple of really nice players in Oscar Clough and Omer Mayer, and have 7'4" center Daniel Jacobson returning from injury. Also, they have Fletcher lawyer C.J. Coxon and Jakari Harris. Should be a great year for the Boilermakers. Purdue softball stunned Ohio State to advance to the Big Ten tournament semifinal round Thursday at Bittinger Stadium in West Lafayette. The Boilermakers turned a 4-0 first-inning deficit into a 14-6 victory against an Ohio State team that had swept them during the regular season. Olivia Meeks went 2 for 2 and scored 3 times, and Mara Condon had a bases-clearing triple in Purdue's 7-run 7th inning. Purdue's opponent for Friday's semifinal is Michigan, which also pulled off a stunner, knocking off number 1 seed Oregon 5-0. The Boilermakers and Wolverines will meet Friday at 7:30 after UCLA and Nebraska in the other semifinal. IU's season came to an end with a 5-4 loss to top seed UCLA. The Bruins led 3-0 early before IU tied the game at 4 apiece on Taylor Minnick and Kenzie Mitchell's RBIs in the 5th. However, Riley Slimp's single in the bottom of the 7th gave UCLA the victory. Ball State fell into the loser bracket of the MAC tournament with a 6-3 loss to top seed Miami, and will face host Akron Friday at 2:30 in an elimination game. The Cardinals beat the Zips 9-1 Wednesday, but Akron has since beaten Central Michigan and eliminated Northern Illinois. Anderson advanced in the Heartland Conference tournament in Kokomo with a 6-2 victory over Rose-Hulman Thursday. Landon Southern allowed 2 unearned runs in the first inning, but didn't surrender another run in 8 1/3 innings. He's now 6-1 on the season. Brendan Tabor drove in 2 runs, and Charlie Jones scored twice. Both had doubles in the win. The Ravens will face top seed Manchester at 4:30 Friday, with the winner advancing to Saturday's championship, and the loser playing again Saturday afternoon to stay alive in the tournament. We move to high school softball, where freshman Grace Wood drove home Delaney Pavey with a single in the bottom of the 10th inning as Madison Grant handed Mississinawa its first CIC loss. Carly Holliday went 2 for 3 with a double, and Olivia Dunham got the win. Both runs scored against her were unearned. Mississinawa is now 12-3 overall, 3-1 in the CIC. Madison Grant improves to 11-6 and 3-2. Brinley Humphreys rebounded from her first loss of the season with a 5-hit shutout of Frankton, and Alexandria's 4-0 CIC win over the Eagles. Riley Thomas went 2 for 3 and scored a run for the 13-1 Tigers, who are now tied atop the CIC at 4-1 with Oak Hill. Oak Hill scored 3 times in the first and kept pace with Alexandria in the CIC standings with a 5-1 win over Blackford. Carson Wiley allowed just 1 run on 5 hits. Jolie Hawkins went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs for the 10-4 Golden Eagles. Randy Casto threw 4 2/3 scoreless innings, and Eastbrook beat Elwood 10-0 in 5 innings. Gracie Elliott was 3 for 3 with 3 runs and 2 RBIs for the 11-7 Panthers. She is on a roll. Stevie Ray Hedges threw a no-hitter, and Northwestern beat Tipton 13-0. Hedges struck out 11 Blue Devils and is now 4-4 on the year. Speaking of sizzling hot at the plate, Bailey Marcus went 4 for 4 with 3 doubles, 3 runs scored, and 5 RBIs in the win. Leah Paris's single drove home Maya Valenta with the winning run in the bottom of the 7th inning of 9th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern's 3-2 win over 2A number 4 Lapel. Tatum Harper went 2 for 4 with a run scored, and Addison Bodenhorn was 2 for 2 for the 15-5 Bulldogs. Addie Mackey and Layla Baldwin each had 2 RBIs, and Tri-Central's 6-4 Hoosier Heartland win over Eastern. Baldwin, who also had a double, improved to 2-1 with the pitching win. Portia Pickett drove in 4 runs, and 11-3 North Miami beat Taylor 24-1. Shenandoah and Yorktown are both 11-3 after the Raiders beat the Tigers 9-6. Abby Boer went 3 for 3, scored twice, and had an RBI for 3A number 6 Yorktown. Aubrey Fox and Cassie Hayes both had 3 hits and scored twice in 4A number 14 Pendleton Heights 9-6 win over Mount Vernon. Brinley Holden had 2 hits and 2 RBIs for the Arabians. Roslyn Irvin allowed just 1 hit, and 4A number 8 Noblesville beat Kokomo 16-0. Brooklyn Grayson led the Miller offense with 3 hits, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. The Millers are now 13-5. Newcastle topped Anderson 6-2. Katie Matthews went 3 for 3 with a double and an RBI for the Trojans. Valen Pattengale drove in her 30th, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th, and 35th runs of the season in Daleville's 23-2 win over Muncie Central. Pattengale had 6 RBIs and now has 17 in her last 4 games. Knightstown blanked Westdale 4-0 behind May Hirschberger's 4-hit shutout. Winchester beat Wapahani 13-3, and Union City got past Cowan 10-7. Emma Blankley homered, had 3 RBIs, and scored twice for Union City. A few other scores from around the region. 3A number 1 New Pal beat Greenfield Central 6-2. 3A number 2 Roncalli beat Westfield 8-7. 4A number 2 Center Grove got past 4A number 3 Zionsville 2-0. Riley Fuhrer and Kara Biebert combined on a 2-hitter for the Trojans. Eastern Hancock beat Union City 11-7. 2A number 10 Rossville got past Carroll 3-2 and is now 5-0 in the Hoosier Heartland. Clinton Prairie 15, Clinton Central 4. Alexis Perez and Lily Coleman each had 4 RBIs for the Gophers. Rochester beat Wabash 8-2. It was Whitco 18, Fort Wayne 0. Harrison beat West Lafayette 7-0. Jeff beat Benton Central 11-1. Kinsey Hutchison had a double, scored twice, and drove in 3. 3A number 11 Jay County beat Bluffton 10-0. Carly Trinidad threw a 2-hit shutout. It was Belmont 13, Huntington North 8, and Logansport 14, Caston 0. In that one, Brooklyn Haggerty threw a no-hitter and struck out 14 for the Berries. It was also a big CIC night in high school baseball, and Frankton got a strong outing from Hunter Ullery, and the Eagles beat Frankton 4-1 in a key CIC contest. Ullery allowed just one unearned run on 5 hits as the Eagles improved to 7-6 overall and stayed in the CIC race by improving to 3-1 in the conference. They are now a half game behind league-leading Oak Hill and Eastbrook. Jarrett Morris had a couple of hits, and Braden Peters scored twice in the win. Cale Johns went 2 for 3 for 11-8 Alexandria. Mrs. Sinwall scored 3 times in the fourth, and Kavion Martin allowed just 1 run on 1 hit in his complete game performance in the Indians' 3-1 win over Madison Grant. The Indians are tied in third place with Frankton, a half game behind Oak Hill and Eastbrook. Luke Gilman's single was all that stood between Martin and a no-hitter. Oak Hill is 4-1 in the CIC after Thursday's 10-2 win over Blackford. Ryan Lawson went 2 for 4 and drove in 3 runs, and Harrison York allowed just 1 earned run in 6 innings for the 12-7 Golden Eagles. Eastbrook is also 4-1 following Thursday's 11-1 win over Elwood. Eastbrook led 2-1 after 4 innings before scoring 5 times in the 5th and 4 more times in the 6th. Carter Doherty had 2 hits and scored 3 times, and Austin Michael allowed just 1 run on 2 hits. Eastbrook is now 11-7. Dylan Grimes was 2 for 2 with an RBI for Elwood. Riley Hudson, Camden Novak, and Ray Smith each had 2 RBIs, and 2A number 3 Lapel improved to 16-1 with a 10-3 win over Hamilton Heights. Novak hit his first home run of the season, and Caden Lawson drove in 2 runs for the Huskies. McConaughey beat Tipton 6-3 behind Kobe Bowman's 3 RBI performance. Nick Nasser hit 2 doubles and scored a run, and Aiden Gibson had a 2 RBI double for the Blue Devils. 2A number 8 Eastern blanked Tri-Central 10-0 to improve to 16-5. Cabe Stebbins allowed just 1 unearned run on 3 hits, and Delta ended Wapahani's 8-game winning streak with a 3-1 victory. Gavin Case drove in 2 of the Eagles' 3 runs with a 2 RBI single that give Delta a 2-1 lead in the 4th. Kokomo is now 5-1 in the North Central Conference, a half game behind league-leading Anderson after sweeping Richmond with Thursday's 4-1 win at Kokomo. Isaac Flamino improved to 4-0 and lowered his ERA to 0.23 after allowing just 1 earned run on 2 hits. He's allowed just 3 hits in his last 3 starts. Ethan Merrill scored twice in the Wildcats' 10th win of the season. Gage Emberton and Logan Campbell both had 2 RBI doubles, and the Muncie Central Bearcats came back from 2-0 down to beat Cowan 7-5. Campbell also scored twice. Yorktown broke a 2-2 tie with a run in the 4th, then added another in the 5th to beat West Dell 4-2. Noah Lovall drove in 3 runs, and Reed Turner and Sam Tokar both had doubles for the 9-9 Tigers. Burris scored 6 times in the 7th to pull away from Daleville for an 11-3 victory. Simon Moliera hit his first home run of the season, drove in 3 runs, and scored twice in the win. Dane Adams improved to 2-1 on the mound for the Owls. Tri won its first game of the season, beating Anderson Prep 13-9, when the Tigers scored 8 runs in the 6th inning. Christian Moore was 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI for the Jets. Liberty Christian won its second game of the season, 26-0 over Indianapolis, Washington. The Lions took advantage of 16 walks and 5 Washington errors. Riddick Allen and Malachi Castor both had 3 RBIs for the Lions. Some other baseball scores from around the region. Noblesville beat rival Hamilton Southeastern 3-1. Avon beat number 3 Fisher 7-0. It was Carmel 2, McCutcheon 0. Zionsville 11, Westfield 5. 3A number 8 Cathedral beat University 6-4. Mooresville 5, Greenfield Central 2. Class A number 9 Clinton Prairie beat Clinton Central 11-0. Caden Robinson threw a 2-hit shutout. Class A number 3 Rossville beat Carroll 5-4. Rossville and Clinton Prairie are tied atop the Hoosier Heartland at 5-1. Delphi topped Frontier 4-3. Class A number 8 North Miami beat Culver 10-0. Braylon McIntyre threw a one-hit shutout and struck out 10. Winchester 16, Randolph Southern 0. McCormick Anderson had 3 doubles and 6 RBIs for the Falcons. DeKalb beat Huntington North 5-3. Bluffton beat Jay County 7-6. And it was Harrison 6, Tri-West 1. We moved to the tennis courts where Elwood beat Madison Grant 5-0 Thursday to give head coach Andrew Van Osdal his first career coaching victory. Addie Moore and Haley Harrison won 6-3, 6-2 at number 2 doubles, but Frankton lost to Greenfield Central 4-1. All 4 Greenfield wins came via straight sets. The Eagles are now 11-3 on the season. Kokomo beat Lapel 3-2 by sweeping the singles matches with Reagan Heflin, Claire Collane, and Avi Pollard. Eastern swept Clinton Prairie in a Hoosier Heartland matchup. The Comets swept all 3 singles matches and won in straight sets at number 1 doubles. Kinsey Eagle and Emma Buddy came from a set down to win 6-0 in the second and 6-1 in the third. Eastern is now 8-1 overall, 3-0 in conference play. Jay County lost 4-1 to Adams Central, but Brenna Bailey remained unbeaten on the season with a 6-0, 6-1 win over Melanie Birch. Just 2 boys golf matches to report from Thursday. Lapel shot a 155, 15 shots better than Hamilton Heights to win a dual meet at Edgewood Thursday. Jade Swanson led the Bulldogs with a 38 to take the medalist honors. He was followed by teammates Maverick Beeson, Crawford Douglas, and Cale Paddock, who all finished their rounds in 39 shots. There wasn't a lot of track on Thursday because almost every team in the area will be participating in a conference track meet on Friday night. But Pendleton Heights swept Newcastle in a dual meet. The boys beat the Trojans by 41 points, and the girls won 80-30. For the Pendleton girls, freshman Sophia Bruce won the 100, the 200, and the long jump. Kiera Jones won both hurdles races. Shaylin Dwyer finished first in the shot put and the discus. Addison Stanley won the 800, Sadie Rao the 1600, and Mallory Shug the high jump, and all were on the 1600 and 3200 winning relays. Freshman David Akinye won the 110 high hurdles and the high jump and was second in the 300 hurdles. And freshman Luke Sellers won the 800 and 1600 for the Arabian boys. Avon won the boys track championship at the Hoosier Conference track meet, beating runner-up Brownsburg by 29.5 points. Noblesville finished third. Hamilton Southeastern and Fishers tied for fifth, and Westfield was seventh. Not in Central Indiana, but interesting anyway. Fort Wayne Dwenger beat Fort Wayne Northrop by a half point to win the Summit Girls Track and Field team title. And now you know all we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. If you are interested in the Central Indiana Sports Report continuing to grow and thrive, you can help us by simply telling your friends and family about these podcasts. We humbly thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.